Here we have Friday's stock market action. This is the S&P 500, and we opened about this 108.15 level. Initially popped up and looked great. We closed the gap from the day before, so this was Thursday's close right here. We opened up down here and closed this gap, and even made new highs, which was a bullish sign. So the first thing to do there would have been buy any pullback. Here you could have bought at 109.01 and sold at 113 at these top levels. Now I would have figured it would have busted through, but it didn't, so it would have been good to set a stop here, especially if you miss this first move. This next one here at these levels, at these highs. So that could have made 35 cents, which I trade about 1,000 shares, which would have been about $350. So then you can see here we pulled back, and this line right here represented the lowest part we'd see all day. We didn't know that at the time, but right here price never got any lower. So if you're lucky enough to buy here again, figuring you're going to test the open, one thing we might want to look at is a Fibonacci retracement of that number. Here's 50%, here's 61.8, so it retraced all the way to 78.6, which at that point you're just kind of thinking it's going to go back and retrace this, but it didn't. It gapped up and pulled back again, and here we have a nice little upward pattern. So there's again a good sign that we're going to have a good up day. Here's a pullback, would have been good to buy. It popped up, consolidated a bit, popped up some more, made new highs. Here you can see that this channel started forming, and I do like these trend channels. It wouldn't have got up there, but there's another price. So here we've started trending. You caught that move. I probably would have had it about right there. Caught this move, bounce, get a bounce here. That would have been the next buy support, because we see these trending lines. And that would have been a good sell signal. I also think that these highs right here would have been a good sell signal, and you can see it came up, hit those highs before continuing upwards, getting turned back, and then the next signal would have been to buy again here. However, well, actually, if we were following this line, then it would have been to buy here, and you can see it kind of consolidating there. However, we dropped below, and then we dropped below again, and we ended up getting supported here at this level where we saw a little resistance, so we're going to see some bounces off that line. Bounced up, and then we crossed out of the channel and down further. So here's this, when we first crossed down through this channel and made it back up through, that's a good sign. However, when it crosses the channel, a lot of times you're going to see how much lower you can go, and here we saw it was supported. This would have been a good time to buy after we saw it get bounce, pull back, get a buy, and then here's this line again where we see some tops, and so that would have been a good time to sell. We got a pull back here. Is there anything that's kind of, well, this is the low here, so we're seeing like this head and shoulders inverted upside down. So here's a head, here's a shoulder, and then here's another shoulder. So could have seen this one coming, and then as we broke out to new highs, I was buying because recently we've been seeing a lot of late action to the upside. So if we go back, let's say 5 minutes for the past 10 days, and we just look at some of these closes, I'll put on the daybreak line so you can see here, end of the day shooting up, end of the day shooting up, end of the day falling, shooting up, falling, shooting up, shooting up. So as this broke as this day, this is Friday right here, Friday's open, what we are seeing on a longer time scale. As this price broke up through this high and then through this high, it was clear that we were going to see some obvious higher prices into the close. So that would have been a good time to buy too. Anytime where it broke above this high or this high, and then you can see it started to pull back down. Now for the next few days, we'll take a bigger look at this 10-minute for the past 20 days. You can see where we started bottoming, and then we've kind of been consolidating. You can see here that we're starting to break out above some of these highs. We were rejected right here at the end of the day, but look for through tomorrow to get above this 109.80 level, and then we'll be testing these highs to see if we can go higher to 111. Once we break up from there, I think we could see new highs. If we don't, and what's been happening recently, we see a trend line here. We'll go a little further in the last 5 days here. We'll zoom into this line here, and you can see we have a little bit of support right here. It looks like a little trending lines. It's broken out here, so we'll draw this as a potential upward sloping line. So if we break below this trend line, then I think we're in trouble. We could see this trend line enacted, which could cause prices to come down back to 106, and if we do that, we could if we get a bounce there, then we could start seeing rising prices. But if it falls below back into this 105 level, then we're probably going to be testing these lows, and I would think we would break through them. For tomorrow, Monday's session, I'm thinking that we could continue to see this trend line intact, so we'll extend this upwards. I don't know exactly what it'd be, but watch for that, and watch for this line wherever price meets first. So we started bouncing up off here, which makes me think we could see the top of this trend line, and if we do, we'll probably see some short covering and could probably break through it, maybe breaking into this trend line. And if this move was too high up too fast at the end of the day and we first come back down, we could see testing of this trend line, in which I would be a buyer. Unless it breaks through, then would want to be nimble enough to react and try and see where the setups in the market are. But so for tomorrow, we'll go ahead and we're going to clear this, and we'll take a look at what the futures are doing and what price has done since then. So here's where we close Friday, and Friday night after the market had closed, we stayed about there. We'll check it again in the morning and see where we're at and make some decisions on there. This is Scott signing off.